I still remember the first day I walked into the Twin Cities Pigeon Racing Club with a borrowed crate and 5 pigeons that looked ordinary to everyone except me. The parking lot was full of experienced racers leaning against their trucks, drinking coffee and talking about bloodlines, wing structure, and wind drift like they were discussing the weather. I felt small, like I had walked into the wrong room, but I had saved for months to buy those birds, and I wasn't turning back. That was when Rick came over, smiling wide, hand stretched out. He had trophies in the back of his truck and confidence in his voice. "You're new. Stick with me," he said. "I'll help you get started right." I believed him immediately. That first season hit me harder than I expected. My pigeons circled too long on training tosses, wasting energy. On race days, they came home late, wings drooping, chests heaving. Sometimes they didn't trap right away, costing precious seconds. I'd stand at the club clocking station pretending to be calm, while inside I felt embarrassed seeing my name near the bottom of the results sheet. Rick would shake his head sympathetically. "Takes years," he'd say. "Some birds just don't have the heart." I nodded, but every time I held my birds, feeling their strong muscles and bright eyes, I knew heart wasn't the issue. I just didn't know enough yet. So I started studying like a man obsessed. I read old pigeon magazines, watched interviews with European champions, and filled a small notebook with feeding charts and training schedules. I learned that feeding wasn't just tossing grain in a tray. Early week meant lighter mixes for recovery. Mid-week built strength. Before races, you layered in energy-rich seeds and fats for endurance. I added grit, minerals, probiotics. I cleaned the loft more carefully and adjusted ventilation. Still, progress was slow. Rick kept guiding me. "Don't train too far," he warned. "You'll empty their tank. Too much fat in the feed will slow them down." I followed his advice exactly, thinking discipline meant trusting the mentor. Meanwhile, Rick's birds kept dominating. I congratulated him, but inside I wondered why his methods worked so well while mine stalled. The turning point came one quiet evening at Mr. Larson's loft. Larson was an older racer with calm eyes and birds known for flying through brutal headwinds. He watched me handle one of my pigeons and asked about my routine. When I explained, he grew quiet. "That program is for short sprinters," he said gently. "You're racing distance. Your birds aren't conditioned to push when it hurts." My stomach dropped. I told him Rick had helped me set it up. Larson didn't say anything bad about Rick. He just gave me a long look that told me everything. Over the next few weeks, I paid closer attention. I overheard Rick giving other racers completely different advice. Longer tosses, richer pre-race feed, tighter conditioning schedules. I realized the truth slowly, painfully. Rick hadn't been helping me. He'd been managing me, keeping me just good enough to stay, but not good enough to threaten him. The betrayal stung deeper than any loss. I had trusted him, invited him into my loft, shared meals and stories. For days I avoided the club. I stood in my loft early one morning, sunlight just touching the perches, and wondered if I should quit. Then one of my hens fluttered down and landed on my shoulder, cooing softly like nothing had changed. The bird still trusted me. That settled it. If I failed, it wouldn't be because I quit on them. I rebuilt everything from scratch. I created a real distance program, adding miles gradually, so muscles and lungs developed the right way. I tracked weather, wind direction, and return times. I learned to read small signs: feather shine, drop-ins, appetite, posture. My mornings started at 4:30 a.m., road toss before work. Evenings were spent in the loft with a flashlight and notebook, writing observations while the birds settled. Progress came quietly at first. My pigeons started trapping faster. They recovered quicker after long tosses. In early races, I moved from the bottom of the sheet to the middle. Then, one Saturday, my blue hen dropped out of the sky and placed third overall. I held her in my hands, heart pounding, and felt something shift. The work was taking hold. Word spread that my loft was improving. Rick stopped offering advice. His smiles turned tight. His visits stopped. Tension followed us around the club like a shadow. By the next season, my team was strong, confident, and consistent. I started winning club races, sometimes by clear margins. The same people who once gave me pity smiles were now asking what I was feeding. I shared what I'd learned, honestly. No secrets, no games. Then came the Minnesota State Long Distance Championship, a brutal race with crosswinds and heat. Birds were released at sunrise. All day, I waited at my loft, scanning the sky, every minute stretching longer than the last. Some birds came in exhausted. Hours passed. Doubt tried creeping back in, but I pushed it away. Then I saw a speck flying low and straight, wings cutting clean through the wind. My champion cock bird dove and hit the trap like a bullet. I clocked him with shaking hands. When results finalized, my time was the fastest in the entire state. I just stood there, staring at the paper, hardly breathing. At the awards banquet that winter, when they called my name as Minnesota Champion Racer, the applause felt like a wave hitting me all at once. I walked to the front, remembering the losses, the early mornings, the betrayal that almost ended my journey. I didn't mention Rick. I didn't need to. I thanked the honest mentors, my family for their patience, and most of all the birds who never stopped trusting me. Later that night, alone in the loft, I held my champion pigeon and felt his steady heartbeat against my palms. The trophies were nice, but the real victory was knowing I earned it the right way, through patience, hard work, and loyalty to the birds who depended on me. Outside, the Minnesota night was clear and full of stars, and for the first time since I joined the club, I didn't feel like an outsider. I felt like I belonged.